a fair talk TNT. Philip, we go fix it, because we fought in PEP.
Save TNT. Vote PEP.
It's the event everyone has been waiting for. The launch of the UNC's General Election Campaign 2025 at Naparima College, San Fernando. This Monday at 7 p.m., tune in for a fiery feature address from Mrs. Kamla Persad Bisasar with the UNC's plans and policies, live entertainment, and much more.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. It is Monday, March the 24th. I have some information to put in the public space that I will be dealing with shortly. But I wanted to answer one thing. And I don't need to, because when I read the comments yesterday, in 9 hours, on the thread that announced Philip Alexander on CNC3 was going to be the candidate for Port of Spain North, St. Anne's West. Within 9 hours, the comments had crossed 900. That is untrammeled territory. Comments don't cross 500. When you reach 900 in 9 hours, you know that this is the battleground for the election. And I want to tell Trinidad and Tobago something. I will bring my A game. I'm watching the response of the Lodge Boys PNM Consortium 1% contract mafia. I'll tell Trinidad something. I told you all they had embedded in the United National Congress some sleeper cells. They had embedded some persons in positions whose job it was to vote in the direction pointed to them by the 1%, not by the leadership of the UNC. And I've told Trinidad and Tobago that the reason I came on board with Kamla Persad Bisasar is to block them, because I know them and I know their plays. And that's why they've lost so badly. People still call me and tell me how we destroyed Gary Griffith as a human being, as a politician, as he will never hold public office in this country again. And I explained to them, the farce, the illusion that was Gary Griffith, we created that. I understand. If I put the monkey together, I could take the monkey apart. All of the persons that formed themselves into pop-up parties that were taking 1% money, all of the dissidents, all of the shills, all of those embedded. Last night I took calls from people who are on the executive of the UNC Diego Martin Northeast. It's not the entire executive resigned. It's certain people who were trying to get their own candidate in position. But Kamla is very, very wise. And she has seen all of the plays. And she has made her moves. She needed to make sure that she had in her possession a strong defense squad. And she had before, but she added us to it because she knows that outside of the United National Congress, she needed a line in the sea. And we were that line in the sea. It can't get past us to touch Kamla. She is now untouchable. She is the next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. The numbers have swung in her favor so violently that the PNM is scrambling. They're writing articles in the paper. I read one this morning about a masterful stroke from Stuart Young. But I also read in Rhoda Barrett, who was paid by the Ministry of Finance to push calm Imbert's rhetoric. And she is exposing the underbelly of the revolt that took place in the People's National Movement. When Stuart Young was sworn in the party almost collapsed. Some people didn't sleep for that whole 24-hour cycle to get them to dissolve the parliament and call an election. You do not take all the time and spend all of the millions of dollars to install a new cabinet. That doesn't help you in an election. They got no advantage from the reshuffle and the appointments to cabinet positions. They got no advantage at all. Some of the hated personalities are still there in different positions. It gave them no advantage. So don't pretend that this was a masterstroke, that they planned this. The party collapsed around him. And right now, the reason he is so silent is because he is punch drunk. The bully has been bullied. Terence Dial Singh, who called for the firing of Dr. Joel, had to swallow back that quickly and have him reappointed and pretending somebody else did it. Terence Dial Singh, if somebody else did it, fire that person. If somebody else did it and put you in a position as minister to have to come and countermand the decision, call that person's name. Fire that person. But like Donna Cox and Carl Bimbert and Keith Rowley and Reginald Armour and all the others who keep erecting PNM strawmen to blame for why their whole lives are going wrong and yet never naming or disciplining those people, I call fake. Like your mustache, like your convent girl accent, I call fake. All of it. All of it now is the bullies are being bullied back and they don't know how to respond. Anytime the people who were getting away with taking advantage of weaker people have to face stronger people, they lose their composure. The PNM has no composure now. Their Woodford Square event to present their candidate's bus. The media, Sabga media, singing for his supper. He will never give you the truth. The Guardian and CNC3, they are not allowed. The journalists who doing journalism, who they telling me, Mr. Philip, we outside here, we covering you and everything, you know. But when it reach by the editor, it's them to decide. And they're giving you foolishness as news. So just be aware. And I don't have to respond to low level. And I want to tell the members of the Diego Martin Northeast, those who resign, I want to tell you this. You are going to cry in your coffee and your tea over this in days to come. When you realize, and I am calling on the members who were coerced and bullied to follow a deputy, a secondary, a vice chairman, all of you who were bullied into following him, my number is 682-2110. I know it's a bunch of housewives who were put in position, who were taken advantage of by some dissident-led bacchanal makers. But if you stay on the outside after the election, when she wins, she will be in her right to tell you, like Christ said, "Be gone, I know you not." If you know that you were bullied and you were coerced into throwing down that executive, come public. Like Imran Khan, who I was told was offered a couple $1 million to recant and pretend that he wasn't bullied. And he said, not at all. These are the kind of patriots we want. People who will stand up for justice. I am going to expose over the next 35 days the conspiratorial, secret, unseen hand behind Trinidad's politics, behind its justice system, behind its governance, behind all of the organizations of state. I want to tell you, you need to give Kamla Persad-Bissessar and the coalition of interests a special overwhelming majority so that we can break the contract mafia 1% secret society hole. To the low-level lodge boys who keep messaging me to tell me lodge is not a bad thing, I want to tell you my grandfather was a grand master in the lodge. I know a lot about the lodge. And he used to tell me because he thought I would walk in his footsteps. And I have a lot of information. And I want to tell you something. Those of you who are the low level, who's still getting hooked on the camaraderie and the brotherhood and stuff, that's not the purpose of the lodge. That's the purpose of the lodge at your level, where they use you as messenger boys and make you feel like you belong to something. But most of Trinidadians and Tobagonians suffer from a lack of intimacy in their lives. Our family life has been destroyed by bad governance, and it has created a hole in people's lives where gang membership and lodge membership give them a feeling of belonging. But there is a lodge group in Trinidad and Tobago since the days of Eric Williams that has ruined and destroyed Trinidad to their own self-enrichment. People who didn't have a pot to piss in or a penny for the pot years ago are billionaires today. Now ask yourself how and why. Ask yourself who could fire Patrick Manning and install Keith Rowley. Ask yourself how and why all of those grotesque and blatant errors, unforced errors and mistakes were made by the Keith Rowley administration, and you'll realize Keith Rowley was always just a blackface puppet. He was never the leader, and it is why Eric Williams, George Chambers, Patrick Manning, and I want to tell you why Patrick Manning was fired and humiliated by the PNM. He was fired and humiliated by the high-ranking PNM because Patrick Manning, after the 2007 election, tried to throw off the yoke. He tried to unbridle himself from the lodge. He tried to break the control of the contract mafia. He engaged in serious anti-drug trade activities. He empowered departments of state to go after them, and they went after him. A lot of the work that was done, certain people that I thought were good and decent people went into office masquerading as members of the People's Partnership, only to undo what Patrick Manning was trying to put in place. The Trinidad and Tobago that you live in, there is a reason Laventille Hill, that is 200 years older than Goodwood Park Hill, you could sell one property in Goodwood Park and buy the whole of Laventille. There's a reason the people of Morvan, Beetham, Laventille and Sealots have been deliberately left behind, because that is the most valuable real estate in Trinidad and Tobago. And there are certain 1%ers who have a whole business plan called East Moorings. They have blueprints and designs of what they want to build, what they want to put in Sealots, multi-stories, and they want it for pennies. They want to take the properties of the people who live in Sealots and hand them dog food and diapers. You need to pay the people the value of the property, and then they could relocate. But stop trying to bully them. Stop trying to bully them so you could seize and make more money. And that's been the history of the PNM to their own members and supporters. And all they've done is create an environment where you are supposed to hate and despise Indian people as politicians. It must be unpalatable to you to consider, so that they know they trap you. They trap you in your own mind. They trap you in your mind where you want to get away from the PNM. Most PNM supporters do. There are 500. There are almost 500,000 voters of the PNM, and they never get past 300 and something thousand. And I don't even believe, I tell you this morning, I don't trust the Elections and Boundaries Commission. I honestly believe, and I'm going to segue to that right now, I honestly believe we need an external audit of the entire voter list in Trinidad and Tobago. I do not trust Fern Narcisscope. I believe she should be fired immediately just because of her incestuous relationship with a PNM leader, high-ranking member. She should not be in charge of the voter list. We need independent institutions. And your votes this election are going to count so much. Now, we are auditing the list ourselves. And that is how I ended up with this list of over 2,000 people over the age of 100 who are still registered to vote on the list. We're taking calls. Yes, if you call.
Morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning. I have two questions. One, based on the three seats that the four seats, the three seats that your party contesting, right? Is it that you all have been doing research and polling and analytical data? And two, if you could elaborate on the resignations of the Gomati Notice executive, is it that you want them fall out or they're not supporting you or some kind of thing like that?
I don't even know who the Diego Martin Notice people are, but I said that at the beginning. It was designed. They have certain groups within the party that designed to just try to embarrass Kamala, but it's not working because more people joining than leaving. That's the second question. The first question, when asked which seats we wanted, I told the leader I wanted everything from Diego Martin West to Laventille East. I wanted the diehards. I am not a weak politician like Gary Griffith and others who need safe seats. If you need a seat she already have for you to join, what she need you for? You understand that?
Yeah, but at the same
Yeah, no
time,
but to that, brother. That is a straight up answer to
has
you. All right?
no polling just show when parties just do polling and analytical data to know the chances and the how
All the
these
data
seats go
available to
on.
you and to me right now, how much people vote in the last election, how much vote PNM, how much vote UNC. But they have no way of polling Philip Edward Alexander as the candidate for Port of Spain North, St. Anne's, because Philip Edward Alexander is a whole different variable and they don't have any models in our election polling to account for that. Philip is going to beat Stuart Young despite the race vote. Have a great
And
day.
what about the other? All right.
342-0081-466-5391. Those are our numbers and you could call in. The Elections and Boundaries Commission. We are doing our own audit. Okay, so we're going to take your calls in between.
Hello, Philip.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Philip. This is PH here. How are you going, sir?
I am brilliant, bright, happy, and hopeful.
Now, Philip, I have to tell you this from now. I am so happy that you're going up in Port of St. Louis. I grew up in Belmont. I grew up on Leon Hill. Right? I live on Leon Hill on the circular for almost 40 years. Philip, let me tell you this. Right? The only person who ever do anything for Belmont, Port of St. North, was a man named Gordon Draper. Right? He's not around again. That was one of the only persons who went up there who actually do something for Belmont. The others was jokers like John Rahal, Desmond Aram, and them guys. Let me tell you this, sir. The Port of St. North have a problem with water, sanitation, with the trash, the roads bad. If you go up Belmont Valley Road, if you go up, if you go up Chinatown, I could tell you, I live there. I live there almost every day. So I want you to do something and fix Port of Spain, especially Belmont, Cascade, St. Anne's, these areas.
PH,
People living like,
PH, I want to tell you something.
Yeah.
The Belmont community was a model community for Trinidad and Tobago. It was so many bright, successful, powerful people came out of Belmont. Why was Belmont allowed to fall apart? That was a deliberate attempt at marginalization of people, and the people of Belmont have to have that conversation. Because they were entitled to proper representation, they were entitled to share in the society's money.
If I going up to Belmont as PNM, I know all of them is PNM sheep. No matter what I do, they will still run and vote for me because I will show a little corporation work for them for a couple of weeks and stuff like that, and then get rid of them afterwards. Obviously, they will run for that because they are not getting no other option. That is the whole thing about it. Philip, you know what? I will make it my business when you walking through Belmont because I know almost everybody there.
Well, I tell you different. I calling you when I come off APH, and I want to talk to you about coming and join the team at a senior level. We building a massive team in all of the communities. We're looking for people who are as in involved in the community as you are. My number is 682-2110 to those who
Yeah, I know your number.
no, I'm giving it to the other people who are listening now and realizing that they can reach out to me. And all of the communities of Port of Spain, North St. Anne's West, I'm going to walk with you. I'm going to come home by you. I'm going to come in your communities. And you know, everybody know Philip has been fixing it in all of those communities long before there was an election. When the 1% developer had gone the top of St. Anne's to build the development and they had no approvals, who it is you think the community association reach out to? Me. Who you think it is get it to stop? So I telling the community.
I taking you into all them old people, PNM, all these senior citizens who is diehard PNM. I taking you into their house, inside their house,
well, good.
to talk to them like Miss
You'll be joining
all these people there because this is nonsense that's going on.
You'll be joining.
I work what way? You know why they call me PH? I grew up working taxi in Belmont. I know everybody in Belmont. Whether I know them by name, I know them by face. You understand? My mother go in Belmont, my father is in Belmont.
This show finish at 9 o'clock. Call me right after and you and I will meet up. All right, brother?
Nice.
Talk to you soon. Anybody else interested in being a part of the campaign? It's going to be a massive campaign. We are already a huge crew and we have strong names. You all heard when Twiggy called in here. They have entertainers who are going to be on the road with us that people are going to know. I'm going to be working with the people celebrities, not big shot celebrities, the people celebrities. So I want to deal with this issue as we're on it. I want to deal with the reality of what the Elections and Boundaries Commission represents to Trinidad and Tobago. It represents an independent organization that is supposed to handle our elections to public office, and we need to be able to trust it. Do you trust Fern Narcisco, a PNM operative? Do you trust the EBC this morning? If I could tell you this today, if I could tell you no, I'm going to give you this now. Huh? I just want to introduce this because I want to deal with that list of the specific the 100arians. I gotta give me a minute. But the reality of the situation is that we have been left holding a bag. How many of our elections have been fair? How many? How many of our elections have been transparent? How many? We're going to have to ask these questions now. How many have been? Take it. Hello, good morning. Sorry about that.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning, Mr. Alexander.
Good morning.
Hi, how you going, sir?
I am good. How are you?
I am okay, sir. I'm okay considering the social landscape of the country. First time calling in on your program, I was pleasantly happy to hear that. I was surprised to hear that you're on the program and the station. So, congratulations on that. The former host would have said, the station. I have to agree as a listener. You want to hear like honest descriptions from pretty much all the hosts. There's a good station. To keep it brief, my age is 33 years of age, and this whole political thing is an ongoing confusing situation. So not to be too long-winded, I think we could all agree whatever age you're at. We desperately need reality in Trinidad and Tobago. I have little knowledge of politics. I don't know how hard it is, but I have a strong understanding of reality. And this is not directed to you. It's just a compliment to, because, some other persons, sometimes give some feedback on other persons. You might know persons might say that you're a bit strong in your description and stuff, but I prefer somebody who's strong, but they're being real and addressing reality, and that's what we desperately need as a country, reality. So keep up the good work and all the best, man.
Thank you, my friend.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, take it.
Good morning.
Hello, good day.
Hey, good morning, Mr. Alexander. I always root for you, but I have a question that I wanted to clear up. I saw a post online where you say that, and I have a video where you say that Ms. Bissessa was a abuse of the elderly. You said AI manipulated. But that come out long before you joined, so why, I don't understand why you're lying and saying that AI manipulated.
Oh, you could say I lying, my brother. That's not what I said. So in truth and in fact, the person
So-
who's lying this morning is
So
you.
you're trying to be
Talk.
AI so dread boy?
No, talk, and I will answer you after. That's not what I said.
No, I'm asking.
No,
and
I'm saying that I didn't say that
genuinely
that
asking.
particular video was AI manipulated. I said, if you read it, and I blame that PNM education, if you read what I said this is what they're going to be doing. Manipulating videos, bringing videos out of time, and using AI manipulation on some videos. But I didn't say that
So
one
could
was.
could I ask you this? Because I always used to root for you, right? I don't
You always used to root for me. You're not rooting for me anymore? You're not rooting for me anymore?
Yes, but listen, I was just saying
What's
that
your name?
I want Philip with.
What's your name? What's your name?
I want to give my name or name.
But give me your name on your hand. Look how much balls you call with both your balls in your hand, your belly, and your backbone. But you're afraid to give your name, but you want to call and challenge me. Come now, man.
Why did you choose to join? Why you choose to join? That is what I'm
To
asking.
break the stranglehold of the PNM on the lives of the Afro-Trinbagonians that has stunted the development of this country and looted it. Do you have $1 million in your bank account?
No, sir.
Where is your $1 million? $3,000 billion passed through this country. Where's your $1 million? Faris Al-Rawi children traveling the world on private jets, partying in parties in France and Ibiza that is $10,000 to get into. Where is your $1 million? Do you have any buildings rented to the state for millions of dollars a month?
No.
When Azar got $55 million for an empty building that we never even took the keys for, do you have one of those? So when they tell you that the issue is what Philip might have said in the past, I want to tell you something. As an independent candidate and a political leader, I fought all comers. And I had to make a decision to choose a side to rescue the country. And I chose to support Kamala Prasad Bissessa. Do you disagree with me?
No, I fully understand.
Thank you, my brother. Have a great day. Have a great day.
Yes.
I guess we're ringing off the hook, and I want to read this thing. But whole week we're dealing with EBC this week. Hello, good day.
Yes, good day, Philip, man. I enjoy your commentary, but when you say it's a political home or you laugh belly full with you and that fella, the video there, he's a real home, boy. This one, that one, he's a home, that I'm glad
at least I can be honest,
make you a strong guy and make you a stronger leader because you know you're hoeing and you're admitting to it.
Thank you,
Anyway,
my
the unemployment figure is needed at 4%. That means that 95% of the people in the country are not working. What I mean, when it says 4.1% unemployment, what I mean that the 95% of the people not working in the country?
What they say, 4.1% unemployment, they lie. They
lie?
Absolutely lie. They absolutely lie. You know, this is the biggest.
No, what that mean?
They're trying to say of the 1.2 million people that have age to work, 4% of them have no job. But that's a lie.
So that means that over 95% of them working.
That's what they're saying.
Because
But
driving down the road this morning, there I seen all kind of new model car, and the last time I buy a car 15 years ago, they tell me I had to be working for more than 2 years, gainfully employed to have a business. So all them people in Trinidad will get loan from the bank, working for more than 2 years. So that means the statistic I read and things on the internet, on the Google, it's correct.
well, I don't understand.
And the 4 points. All right, let me break it down again.
I can't agree with.
It's a political whore. So let me break it down for you.
I can't agree with you. Yes, now. You can't control the whole conversation. I can't agree with the way that you're working out your numbers. No. You had to calm yourself down. He calm down yet?
95%.
Brother, nobody hearing you on the radio, you know, because we're not letting it go through while you're getting on while like that. So you gotta calm yourself down. Tell me, can you calm yourself down?
The political whore.
Let him talk.
We are abused. Right? Not so? So 95% of the people working and 95% of them have all them bank and them rich. Good thing I have a little dividend with the Royal Bank and the Republic Bank. Right? About 10, 15 years ago, I buy
but brother, you're sounding like you're very hurt. You're sounding very hurt and you're taking it out on the wrong man.
No,
I am not an office holder, sir. I am not.
I am happy for you
no, but you're
because
sounding,
you have an elevator in your house.
Why you so? Oh God! Don't get on so now. Don't get on so now. Don't be hurt. Nah, I gotta cut him. You overdoing yourself there. I wanna deal with this. The amount of people, 2,000 people in Trinidad and Tobago. So we live in long. If you have other calls, bring them in. Eh? We live in long because we have 2,000. And listen, I don't mind. We open.
You go fix it.
Hey, thank you, my brother. You hear me?
I was down by Saturday down there. Philip, why you cut off that man by that disrespectful man who talking about protocol? They say I'm speaking them out.
No, but I was just trying to give him a chance to find his way back to reality, but he can't. Some of them, I just stop and give a Venezuelan vagrant lunch. He can't even talk English, and I'm wondering what it must be like to be a vagrant in a country where you can't even speak the language, and what was Stuart Young's plan for them. You know how many Venezuelan mentally ill people we took? You know how many prisoners they let out of the jails and sent to Trinidad? You know how many of their homeless people Maduro dumped on the ground and gave Stuart Young and Keith Rowley some kind of donation? I don't know what came in the box when Delcy came. But we have about 200,000 Venezuelans in this country, and half of them have no employment, no future, no ability to earn an income. The fence by the Venezuelan embassy is about 40 feet high, so they can't get in there to ask for help, and they're outside here on the streets suffering, and that is the legacy of Stuart Young. That is the legacy of Stuart Young. With the bullhorn. He wasn't there for this fella this morning with the bullhorn. Right? Yeah.
Philip,
talk to me.
Stuart Young, right? Stuart Young constituency is the worst. I pass strongly there. There's a set of rubbish, a set of homelessness right by Stuart Young constituency there. So what are you going on to fully plan them for? And that disrespectful stigma and them, man, don't tell you disrespect. You cut them off.
Thank you for that. I know I that strong, but it's Monday morning and I don't want people to say, oh, look at Philip bully the man. I give the man a try, but the man tried to bully.
He tried to
he tried to bully me. Drinky beer rum and come and talk stupidness. But I know they get in right now, Harry back and the Syrian squad sending out money for the Digicel phone card and B-Mobile phone card and talking points. Go and tell Philip this and go and tell Philip that. They're afraid, watch me now, they're afraid that they're shaking chicken foot all around the four corners of the property right now, praying to whoever God they're praying to, that Philip will end up in the parliament. They send Griffith to talk about that. Griffith, that tool of the 1%. They're talking about all the crime he solved, but he only solving cockroach crime. Drugs coming through the country by the hundreds of billions of dollars. He couldn't solve them kind of crime though. Anyway, have a good day, my friend. We have people born in 1924. Now, I want to get the numbers for some of these people and call them on the phone. Because there's another issue. Eh? If these ID cards are saying that these people are actively alive and registered, are pensions being issued in their name? Is somebody collecting? Because 2,000 people by $3,000 a month is a nice windfall. Eh? And they don't want you talking about this. We have people who can crunch their EBC data, and there are a lot of inconsistencies. One of my supporters, and I want to tell those of you who are listening that followed me onto this station, that not accustomed to the wildness of some of those P&M trolls that get that Digicel and B-Mobile phone card from Harry back to call in and wild up their body. Because you see, they wouldn't send the little 1% children to make the call. The other send sufferers like him who need the $50 at the end of the day. And I'm apologizing to you that you have to put up with that. It comes with the territory. Yeah. So we have to have a conversation. I know this evening I will be at the United National Congress Monday night, tonight in Naparima. I'm tell you, it's starting 7, go there from 4. If you're coming to at 10, go there from about 4 o'clock to get your chair. Because every UNC meeting is bigger than the last one. And this one, where they're presenting candidates, going to be massive. The drone shot going to be bigger than the PNM presentation of candidates. And come and hear a real alternative to the madness that we have been enduring in Trinidad and Tobago for the last 10 years. Hello, good day.
Yes, good day, Philip Alexander.
Good morning.
All right, good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. This brother who called in here usually called the radio station. I never get a chance to talk to you also, but today I will take that opportunity and the best that I could do. President Trinidad and Tobago Villager is the name. Now, I want to say I commend you for many good consciousness that it has put in Trinidad and Tobago. I give you that. Now, I want to cross here and tell you that I would like to know that when you started with your own organization. And in so doing, you had a lot of pep, a lot of people understand you in many ways, but you cross. You did something that many of us not satisfied with. Now, you can't give me no wrong if I tell you that we have racial voting in Trinidad and Tobago. Whether you like the PNM or not, there is racial voting in Trinidad and Tobago. And in many of us, we see what the PNM was, we see what they are. We also see what the UNC was. We know what they are. Now you crossing and going over into a side, which many people don't like, then you spoil your show in a sense, because we, as many of us, with your thoughts, your ways, how you was moving, being aggressive against or speaking truth to power, we look at you as holding that one organization and doing the best you could do as long as and until you could do well. That is the position I hope you would have taken. The position you taken, although you're still talking nice, but how much people really going together with you, going on a side with where we don't intend to have no.
Could I answer you now? I sat down here and listened to you, right? I want to answer you, and I want to say, I hope that you didn't take my decision to no longer be an independent political party as any disrespect. I did not intend to disrespect any of the followers of the Progressive Empowerment Party. I think I made the case clear. I want to tell you, do you know what the World Economic Forum is?
Yes, I think.
Do you know why the PNM, Colm Imbert, and others are rushing so hard to take cash out your pocket and turn you into a worker drone where the money that you own is only on a spreadsheet in the bank, but you have no actual money and no claim to the money? Do you know why?
I will answer the first part that I am aware that the conglomerate and massa is in control. And whatever we do to the bottom, we are in a problem. Even if you going up, and I don't know you, but you could be also massa. And that situation is real.
All right, but I just want to say, just now, wait. I want to ask you to do me a favor. Because I giving you all your room to talk, and I not shouting at you, so I don't want you to shout back. I don't want you to shout. I know you're getting a little passionate. Yeah, you're getting a little passionate. But I'll say that for a reason. And you're right. You don't know me, but you know what you know of me. You've seen me give up decades of my life for free. In fact, it costs me money to be a politician and an activist. You've seen me fight for people, the homeless, the orphans, the disabled. You've seen me fight for people who could never pay me back. That Venezuelan fella I just buy that lunch for, he can't pay me back. I'll never see him again. And he can't vote for me, he can't help me. I just saying to you, you have to judge people by who they are, who you see them be, not who you think they could be. Don't let them fool you and sell you. I one way. In fact, I want to be honest with Trinidad and Tobago. I was offered to speak on platforms. If I could script myself and present the script forward for it to be approved, I said, that is not Philip Alexander, so I prefer not to speak. And I want you to understand that. I am that committed to who I am. I am committed to the people of the world, to the people of Trinidad and Tobago, to my family, to a better country so that all of us could have a better life. And that is the only reason I get out my bed this morning to come and sit down on Iwer station. Thank you to Kyle, thank you to Michelle for the work that you all do to keep the show on the air. The only reason I'm here this morning is I want a better Trinidad for you and for me. Do you want that? Do you want that? Do you want a better Trinidad? Do you have children and grandchildren?
Yes.
Do you have children and grandchildren?
That is on my information only. Leave that part out.
All right, but I want to ask you something. If you were to go in the bank this morning to get some foreign exchange, to get on a plane and take a trip, could you get?
Rephrase that?
If you went to the bank this morning to get some U.S. currency, to get on a plane, to take a little trip and do a little shopping, could you get U.S. currency?
I think we all understand that the lower ebb of this society is not as privileged as the higher ebb of this society.
Do you accept that as your reality, or would you like that to change? Would you like to have the same privileges as Gary Aboud, who said that he is a 1% and proud? Would you like to have the same? Would you like to have the same privileges as 1% Gary Aboud, who could get US in the hundreds of thousands of dollars and go to China and post himself whining and dining in China while he shops for millions of dollars for his store? Would you like to have the same privilege as Gary Aboud? Because Gary Aboud's father catch his tail, sell cloth on the side of the road, calling everybody and begging them for 5 cents and 10 cents like everybody else who start. Would you like that at some point your children and your grandchildren could be as fortunate as the children of Jimmy Aboud, the textile king?
Philip Alexander.
That's what I fight for you. Whether you like me or not is irrelevant.
Philip Alexander.
Yes, sir.
Listen to me. You're going on, and I personally have my thought that I tell you something from early.
All right, but I get what you say, and I understand your position, but the parties that exist, so the parties that exist, no, I have to go on, because at the end of the day...
You're not giving me my privilege. You're carrying on.
Okay, take your privilege, sir.
Okay. Of all what you asked me there as a layman in this country, I know the problems of our country.
Are you happy with that?
I asked you early on, and do not interrupt me, please, thank you, I will like that. I asked you at all of what you said and what you would like to see and hope that we would like to see it also. We have a society who is not totally political in such an extent that in so doing, if you is to hold the power in this country as one institution, I would like to know that you take that same direction and put it onto us. But I say again, I do not know you. And if it is that you is to bring that and show that you will really do that, then you could get a vote. But all the rattle you rattling there...
Okay, but I want to say something. You're buffing me. Don't cut him. You're buffing me on a show that I pay for. And you ask me for your privilege, and I give you your privilege. But I ask you for $5 to contribute. But I ask you for $5 to contribute to the show. I like what you're saying, though. So
I really rather to cut this conversation.
No. I like what you are saying, and I understand the distortion in your mind over what the politics has become. I don't blame you. You're right, you don't know me. But again, I say to you, judge me by the 30 years I've been an activist and I have fought for
Well, so that you are for this country all by yourself and not with no communication, with no set and nobody who plenty of us don't like their attitude. And I am finished with this conversation presently. You talk the rest for your program.
Have a great day, brother. Thanks for calling in. Stay safe. Some people, I appreciate the passion the gentleman has. Trinidadians hurting, you know. That is the problem, they hurting. I remember I was watching a show about these parents who had to come to terms with the fact that their children were molested by priests that they trusted. And the mother was saying, she's saying, I'm trying to hold two thoughts in my mind. And it creates a cognitive dissonance. It creates a distortion in your ability to come to terms with this is your reality. To the PNM supporters who are watching the PNM spend a couple $100 million on Balize House, who watched a political leader give himself and his cabinet colleagues a 47% increase while the average person can afford pigtail, oxtail, smoke herring, saltfish, flour, cooking oil. They can't afford to live. WASA increasing water rates, and you're thinking how you're going to manage that when you have no disposable income. The TNTech bill, people turning off all the lights in their house and the meter still spinning fast. And when they go in TNTech, you're watching mommy and granny and daddy, you're watching them sitting down there with tears in their eyes because they don't know, they're trying to make arrangements with TNTech to pay last month on terms, but next 2 month bill come in, and they don't know how they're going to do it. We're going to end up back with lantern. When Keith Scotland talk about, and Keith Scotland is a very wealthy man, he drives a multi-million-dollar vehicle, he lives lifestyles, he's rich and famous. When he goes by his hairdresser to have his weave and his wigs done, he goes to an expensive hairdresser. He has his suits made, hand sewn. He knows what it is to live a wealthy life. And he told the rest of you that that's not for you, that you have to live with coal pot and lantern, that the car is no longer a necessity. You could ride a bicycle. That is the contempt the PNM Lodge boys have for the supporters who keep voting them into office. And the final ignoble act was the foisting of Stuart Lionel Young, that bully, that man who left 4 people in a pipe to die over 48 hours. You could imagine what it was like for those 4 people trapped in that pipe, trapped in oil and water under the sea, believing because Christopher Boudram got out. So they had to know. They had to know that somebody was coming, that people knew that they were alive because Christopher Boudram got out. But Stuart Lionel Young told the families that they will do everything in their power to get everybody out, and instead did everything in their power to block rescues. That is the person that the People's National Movement 1% Lodge Boy Contract Mafia Party foisted on PNM supporters who catching their tail to buy pigtail and oxtail and smoke herring and saltfish this morning. Potato and tomato is Mr. Potato and Mrs. Tomato. You can't leave back food on the plate. You eating half a portion now and want to get through the day. The doubles box is everybody's best friend because you know you could take $12 out of your budget for the day and put 2 doubles in your stomach and get through. And you're asking the doubles man for extra barrel. And you know it's a triples you really wanted, but you're trying to sneak past. And that's where the majority of people are ducking from the bailiff. Everybody know the bailiff. When the bailiff stop by the bar, stop by the barber shop, stop by the grocery to ask where so-and-so. And you're telling them, don't tell him that you see me because you know the bailiff and you're hiding. Because the car that you buy and you spend so much money on, you have a couple more installments and you know the bailiff coming to take it because the bank and the finance company don't have buyers for it already. You know that you're hiding from the Chinese man with the shop. You're hiding from 2 shops. You trust last week dinner and you don't know where you're getting next week dinner from. If that's your reality this morning, how they could fool you that they have a plan? How could a country that is supposed to earn $30 billion a year in pitch, getting $7 million as Lake Asphalt Company, how could you accept that they have a plan when Stuart Young, as Minister of National Security, lied to this nation and said he didn't know about any plane that land? Okay, all right, a plane land, but we don't know who was on the plane. Okay, fine, that is his signature next to every name on the manifest. Okay, you don't know where they went. All right, he was in the car that went to La Fantasy with a carload of Maduro's indicted drug lords that took a box to Keith Rowley, Stuart Young, Keith Rowley, to the rest of the 1% contract mafia. Harry Back, you were there at the meeting. I was told you were there, Harry Back. Why don't you tell Trinidad and Tobago, tell the PNM supporters, what is the gift Maduro sent for Keith Rowley and you all in that box from Delcy that allowed Maduro to empty out his jails, to send the insane and the homeless to Trinidad and Tobago for our taxpayers to deal with? Why don't tell them? Tell them, Stuart Lionel Young, you have a plan. Why not tell them what it felt like knowing your daddy was on St. Mary's College board, that you could terrorize little children and bully them every day of their lives, call them the most reprehensible racist slurs. And when they catch you, your father bail you out and get the little boy expelled, you should be ashamed to show your face in public. That is like, listen, I don't know what it takes. I don't know what it will take for PNM supporters to understand when somebody like Philip Edward Alexander put everything on the line, when somebody like Dr. Joel who talked the truth and they fire him, and now that I run back quick and hire him. The PNM is a victimization organization controlled by the lodge boys, by the secret society. Look at the country that you're living in. Drug lords get in US to buy drugs. Mexico and Colombia not selling cocaine through Trinidad for TT dollars. Where our US foreign exchange going? Ask the drug lords. Where our US and foreign exchange going? Ask the corrupt ministers. Senadan Vex, they call him Rawan. I was going to read. I'll read Rawan tomorrow. Senadan Vex, they call you Rawan. How come there wasn't Vex when you say you're the only honest Indian? So that meant all the other Indians in the country was dishonest. You're a nasty man. You're responsible for deaths at Gandhi Village roundabout. It took forever to fix what I was telling you to fix. And it's only when I embarrassed you and went down there and put on the barrels myself, you went and put barrels. But you want to get them talks. Trinidad and Tobago, this election in the next 35 days is for the hope of your children to have a full belly, to go to sleep without anxiety and stress of being bullied in schools, because we will create an education system that protects all the children from the age of 3 to when they finish university. You must be able to go in the grocery and afford food. The cost of living in Trinidad and Tobago is ridiculous. The cost of living was lower under Kamla Prasad Bisesa. We need to get back to there. We need to open up the market to competition. We need to put the farmers to grow the 90,000 acres of fertile farmland we have and the 30,000 farmers, registered farmers who want farmland to grow food. We need to put that in place. Put proper predial larceny protection like receipts and registration numbers to own produce in bulk, so that police could lock up and arrest those who park up on the side of the road with 3-ton truck selling people stolen produce. We have 1 more minute this morning. I want to thank all of you who are listening to me, all of you who called in. I want to thank the people of Trinidad and Tobago for standing with us. We are going to do everything in our power to give you every chance at a good life for yourself and your family. You have to take it. You have to come out on the 28th of April with everything. You have to bring everybody and come out and make sure that you vote for the United National Congress Coalition of Interest. We will fix all of it.
With Street 919 FM. Dive into the raw, unfiltered world of politics with our cutting-edge commentary and fearless analysis. We don't shy away from the tough issues. We confront them head on. The Street 919 FM, the #1 election station.
Come out in your numbers. We go fix it. We go fix it. PEP go fix it. No jobs, no safety, no water, no justice, no accountability, bad roads, corrupt politicians, no more. We're going and fix it. It's time.
By PEP, Progressive Empowerment Party. Save TNT. Vote PEP. Save TNT from PEP.
You've got bills to pay, and so do we. Let's go pay some bills on the street 919 FM.
This election is about putting people in office who will seek your interest. It isn't about power or titles. It's about people who will get the job done. The UNC has never wavered in fighting the good fight for the dream that is Trinidad and Tobago. Because after all the noise and the smoke has cleared, in your quiet moments, you want what's best for yourself, your family, and your country.
When we win, everybody wins.
You're occupying a home and need documents of your own. Come in, come in, come in. Paperwork could help you find peace, so secure your HTC lease. Come in, come in, come in. They're regularizing, so start organizing to visit the HTC. Don't waste no time, hurry over online. Benefit from the amnesty, handle it skillfully.
Get regularized now. Visit hdc.gov.tt, click on the Forms tab, then scroll to the Rental Regularization Transfer Form and fill out the required information. You can also WhatsApp 325-2578 or 328-6013 to access the forms.